Ladies and gentlemen, welcome dreamers all around the world. Here's Pawel from Better World International, and today I have with me some really cool person. Her name is Lauren Singer. And Lauren, what I know, you are kind of almost like a celebrity right now. Am I right? Do you consider yourself as a celebrity already?
Definitely not. But I've been really lucky to have people talk about what I do. So I feel like a grateful storyteller, I guess.
Okay. So guys, so just to let you know who the Lauren is, I think one of the coolest thing what I know about Lauren is that she managed to live a zero waste lifestyle, and this is what we want to focus on. This is one of the pioneers that figured this out, how to not produce trash. And also, I remember reading, Lauren, you produced for 3 years. Like amount of the trash you produced was kind of the 16 ounces, and everything was fit to the mason jar. Am I right?
Yeah, it's been over 4 years now. And it's all of the trash that I've made can fit within a 16-ounce mason jar still to this day.
Okay. I on the beginning I encourage you guys to check Lauren Instagram, and what I remember right, Lauren, you have the Facebook, right?
Yes, it's all trashes for tossers.
Yes, and some really cool stuff going on there, guys. So if you are interested, this is what we're going to explore on this particular interview. I'm very curious by myself. How did you manage to do that? How's that looks like in real life? Is it difficult? Is it easy? How's that, behind the scenes look like? Because we know the idea is cool. And what I understand, this is the future of the world. We need to at least reduce trash and we need to, change the way how we treat planet, resources, and environment. Do you agree with me, Lauren?
Completely. I mean, I started living a zero waste lifestyle to kind of align more with my values of wanting to help to inspire positive environmental change. And instead of just talking about it, which I found that I was doing a lot, I wanted to actually live like it. So that's why I decided to go zero waste. And when people hear about the concept of zero waste, oftentimes it's really easy to think that it's difficult or impossible, but really all it is when you break it down is just a series of little changes that you implement and integrate into your life. So things as simple as using a reusable bag, or saying no to plastic straws and plastic water bottles, and having alternatives to single-use disposables. So once you lay a foundation of alternatives and reusable items, it's actually incredibly simple to live a zero-waste lifestyle. And what I've learned through living this lifestyle is that actually there are some external benefits that I didn't realize I would have. Like, for instance, I save a lot of money and I eat healthier. And I'm also preventing things like toxins from entering my body through making my own products, which use natural and organic ingredients as opposed to chemicals from a lot of conventional brands. So it's really been an easy transition, and one that's been incredibly fulfilling.
That's really cool, and definitely I want to get there more. But before we will, I would like to explore a little bit. So I understand it's maybe those are small changes, but they require to change your habits. And what I know from the changing habits, it's extremely difficult. So how did you manage to, first of all, even taking a reusable bag? You needed to remember about this, and this is a habit. So how did you manage to change that, first of all?
I actually disagree. I don't think it's extremely difficult to change your habits. I think it just requires paying a little bit of attention and being present. And that might be what's hard for people, is the ability to be present and actually think about what you're doing. Because actually remembering to bring a reusable bag is quite simple, especially if you prepare and you leave it by your door. Or if you're like me, I just use that in place of a purse. So I always have a reusable bag with me, and I always have one in my purse. And if you're the kind of person that has a car, leaving a reusable bag in your car is incredibly simple. So it's just more about being thoughtful and planning ahead and thinking about your day. It's a lot of preparation. And for some people that might be difficult, but it's so rewarding. And so, changing any part of your life takes a little bit of effort, but just because it's effort doesn't mean it has to be negative. for me, I wanted to live this lifestyle. It was something that was really exciting to me and something that I actively wanted to do. So changing my habits was something that was exciting to me, not difficult. It was stimulating because I knew I was trying to reach for a goal that was bigger than myself, as opposed to thinking that I was doing something that was taking away from my life or not enriching my life. It's like a lot of people, you know, if you go on a diet, for instance, you're doing it to lose something. So you're depriving yourself of food that you like that would make you fat. It's different. With zero waste, you're just changing your habits to provide yourself with a more sustainable lifestyle and at the same time save money and actually eat healthier. So I never felt like I was losing anything or depriving myself of anything. In fact, it was the opposite. I always felt like I was gaining something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's completely makes sense. Lauren, so I would like to come back a little bit to the beginning. And what was the problem that you saw that you decided to change, or what was the problem with the entire this waste that we produce? If you could tell us a little bit more how you see that and how much waste we produce and those things.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I started living this lifestyle, it was because in school I studied environmental science and I always cared about the environment. And my junior year, I started protesting a lot against the oil and gas industry. Mm-hmm. And one of their biggest byproducts is plastic, right? Because plastic comes from oil. And it wasn't until my senior year of college when I was in class and I saw this girl making a lot of plastic garbage. She would have dinner and eat everything in plastic and then throw it away. And it would really annoy me because I was like, you know, we're these environmental studies students and this girl is just like making so much trash. And there was one day after class when I went home to make dinner and I opened my refrigerator and I realized that everything that I had in there was packaged in plastic. And so I was getting mad at this girl for making this plastic trash when I was actually just as bad, if not worse than her. And it really, like, it was this light bulb, this click in my head where I was just like, wow, I've been talking about sustainability for 4 years in college, but actually my day-to-day actions are in complete misalignment with what I believe in. And in fact, through my purchasing decisions and my lifestyle, I'm actually supporting the industries that I protest against. So it didn't make any sense to me. And so I decided because of that, I had to go plastic free if I wanted to actually align with the things that I was protesting against. So the first step was going plastic free. And I realized really quickly through trying to go plastic free that I couldn't just buy my way out of plastic because it's really hard to find plastic free products like toothpaste, for instance. Trying to find that plastic free is so hard. So I had to start looking for alternatives and I found out that I could actually make my own toothpaste. And when I started researching more recipes, I found this blog called The Zero Waste Home, started by a woman named Bea Johnson. And I learned that her family lives a completely zero waste lifestyle. And I didn't even know zero waste lifestyle was like a thing or an option. But when I learned about it, I was like, wow, you know, I thought not making plastic trash would be, you know, the best way that I could support the environment. But actually the option to not make any trash at all was like the most empowering thing that I learned about. And so I decided to go zero waste. And beyond, you know, aligning with my values, so what happens when you throw something away? A lot of people think that, oh, if I throw an apple in a landfill, it'll just biodegrade. And so it doesn't really matter if I throw it away. But that's in fact not what happens at all. Landfills are essentially like a hole in the ground and you throw trash in and then they compact it under layers of sometimes clay and dirt and pressure. And what happens is all of the oxygen gets squeezed out in that process, which means that no aerobic digestion or digestion with the presence of oxygen can occur. So it's all anaerobic digestion. And what happens during that digestion is that methane gas is formed. And methane gas is actually 25 times more potent of a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. So through throwing out garbage, you're actually expediting climate change. And on top of that, landfills, when they're created and mixed, a lot of the stuff in them is mixed with water. And the EPA in the United States has stated that all landfills leak. And what happens is when water mixes with garbage, it mixes with like all the pharmaceuticals and all of the disgusting stuff that's in landfills and creates a slurry called leachate. And some of that is funneled out, but some of it actually leaks out of landfills and finds its way into aquifers and into our water systems. And if you have something like a well, which isn't actually regularly tested, you could be tainting your water with leachate from landfills. So decreasing what you send to a landfill isn't just better for the physical environment, it's better for water and the atmosphere and contributing to climate change. So not making trash is one of the most simple ways we can combat climate change, as landfills make up about 20% of methane emissions in the United States.
Lauren, what will happen if we will not stop producing so much trash?
I mean, from a really practical and obvious standpoint, landfills take up physical space. So we're just going to need to keep building more landfills, which means that we're going to have to, take land away from what could be like a public park or, something that's actually revenue driving and make it into a landfill, which is, it has to be monitored. There's methane that comes out of it, so that contributes to climate change. There's that leachate that has to be monitored, which taints water systems. It's also just very expensive. So from an economic standpoint, it's just a bad idea to keep producing so much trash. If we lessen our trash, we're contributing to a healthier economy, a healthier atmosphere, and a healthier physical environment. And in the process, saving a lot of money as individuals.
Is it anything else, like what might be the threat even for human race if we'll not stop?
I mean, like I said, landfills emit methane gas, which is 25 times better at trapping heat than carbon dioxide over a 100-year time frame. So by contributing to landfills and increasing the amount of trash we throw away, we're actually contributing to methane in the atmosphere, which means we're expediting climate change. Climate change, what happens with that is that sea levels rise, threatening coastal cities, which actually happen to be the cities that run our global economy, like New York, Hong Kong, San Francisco. So by making trash, essentially we're expediting climate change and threatening all of our cities and human populations in those cities, as well as just, climate change is a slew of other potential negative impacts. But yeah, I mean, we're contributing to the downfall of our own society by not being conscious of the amount of trash that we're producing.
Okay. Lauren, so what is the solution? And if you could tell us, how do you see the big picture? And from the picture, I would like to take you to the very actionable steps.
Sure. I mean, big picture is climate change is looming, right? Whether you believe in anthropogenic climate change or not.
We do. This people listening us, we do what's going on, and
okay,
so,
cool.
Yes.
I'm glad then we're on the same page.
Yes,
but regardless, the Earth's environment is changing, expedited by human activities. So that's the big picture. The effects of that climate change can be catastrophic to the human population and the physical environment that we need to survive, right? So that's the big picture. Small picture is landfills are created by individuals deciding to throw out waste. So what we can do as individuals is start to reduce the amount of waste that we produce by taking what I call baby steps towards reducing it. And those are simple, practical steps. And in the process, what I like to say is, it's not just the environment. Everyone likes to save money. And when you eat better, which is also something that I found results by living a zero-waste lifestyle, you feel better. So by choosing to reduce your waste, you're also investing in obtaining and saving more money and having a healthier lifestyle. So it's a win-win-win in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I 100% agree. And even in the team in Better World, we already find out the place. We give a badges in the team if you exercise. And now we think how to connect that for encourage even our team members. Right now, the Better World has 25 people which working on those projects. So we thinking how we can encourage our teammates also to eat well and also to start living this lifestyle that we talk about, how to become a zero waste human being. So Lauren, I would like to from tomorrow implement 5 things this month. What you would tell me, okay, Pawel, start from this one. What would you tell those are the most important and the things you think I could start from?
So totally different for every person because all of our lives are different. And so there are practical. The easiest answer that I can give you is like on my blog, Trashes for Tossers, I have a list of zero waste alternatives. So those are kind of the one-time changes and like the one-time investments you make that help to really reduce trash. So those are things like the reusable water bottle and saying no to plastic straws and using a reusable bag and, phasing out plastic. So those are the really simple, like the steps that you can literally purchase and make a difference by just using what you purchase and saying no to the single-use disposable alternative. So that's really easy. But as far as bigger things, what I suggest is actually looking in your garbage can and seeing what you're throwing away and then identifying if there's anything big that you're throwing away regularly, and then just like finding out ways to remediate that. So whether searching on my website or, just doing a Google search. So if you're throwing away a lot of plastic water bottles and you want to figure out how to reduce them, obviously you could recycle them, or the better option is not use them at all. You could Google what is an alternative to plastic water bottles, and then you can find a reusable water bottle, make the switch, and there you go. So I say it's really great to just identify what you're already throwing away and see if there are easy solutions to remediate it.
Okay, so that I should consider this as my step number one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like one of the best steps that you can do. So like, for instance, if you have 25 people in your office, are they all in the same place? Mm-hmm. So what you could do is actually look at the waste that you're producing in your office and see what people are throwing away and go through all of the items that they're throwing away and say, okay, how can we remediate this? As an office, we're throwing away disposable coffee cups. Let's pledge to use reusable coffee cups, or make coffee, in the office. Let's pledge to use reusable water bottles. Let's pledge to not throw out plastic bags and use reusable bags. Simple steps that really do make a big impact. But you can't reduce your waste unless you know what waste you're already throwing away, which is why I always suggest going through the trash that you're producing. And then once you do that and you kind of remediate those things, you can do the single one-time changes like using the reusable bag and using the reusable coffee cup. And then what I think is a great next step after those things is learning how to make your own products. So it's really simple, and I have lots of recipes on my website. So learning how to do things like make your own toothpaste and make your own lotions, it really helps to reduce single-use packaging waste, and you won't be possibly exposing yourself to chemicals that you would if you were buying your products. So because a lot of go ahead.
It's very interesting, and I was thinking, are you actually really making them? Like you really made those things?
I really make them.
Okay, so
no.
So for example, let's talk about, I don't know, the toothpaste. It's you just you buy ingredients, you mix them, and that's it, and it's ready.
Exactly. It couldn't be more easy. It literally takes 30 seconds, and I have a video on my YouTube channel, which is also Trashes for Tossers, on how to make it. And you save a lot of money by making it, and you're not using single-use packaging.
And it's working the same good, like keeping the subject of the toothpaste. Is it really brushing your teeth really cool?
I haven't had any complaints from the people that I've made out with. So.
Okay.
So I think it's good. And I still have teeth. They still work, and they are white since I use baking soda, which actually really helps to whiten your teeth.
That's very, very, very interesting. So we can start making our own products. And I saw you that use the soap, but the soap, I think it's the only one you're buying, right?
So I use a bar soap.
Yes.
For like my hair and my body and my face. And then I use a liquid soap as well, which I buy in bulk. And there are lots of stores that sell in bulk. And actually, if you don't know any bulk stores near you, or you're new to the idea of shopping package free, you can look on my website. I have a blog post called, Shopping Package Free. And you can use Bea Johnson's app called the Bulk Locator app. So anywhere you are in the world, you can type in your zip code, and it'll tell you stores within your vicinity that have package free products.
Okay, that's make perfect sense. Okay, is it anything else that we could do right now to become living the zero waste lives?
I mean, I think I gave some of the easiest suggestions. I would say also just avoid single-use disposables. So avoid using plastic straws, avoid using plastic disposable cutlery, avoid single-use napkins, and just invest in reusable things. So reusable mugs, reusable coffee cups, reusable bags, reusable silverware for like your office instead of having plastic. Really simple solutions that really they make a huge difference. And on my blog, like I said, I have my list of alternatives, which I think is one of the easiest ways that you can start reducing your trash right away, because it gives you just a list of things that you could do right now.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, Lauren, so almost my last question. It would be, why we going to win? And so I would like you to tell us from, you travel a lot and you see a lot of people and you see this little movement happening, and you probably see the people that are going and starting the zero waste lives. Could you tell us about a little bit about the positive things that are happening right now, which will be our inspiration that we're going to win this battle in case of we're going to get there to this sustainable world?
I mean, one of the most practical, or I mean, the most obvious is like, the number of readers I've seen on my site is increasing exponentially, which means that more and more people are becoming interested in learning how to reduce their waste. I think that sheds a really positive light on the environmental movement. In addition, talking about environmentalism is a global topic now, which is really exciting. More and more people are accepting the fact of anthropogenic climate change. And things like electric vehicles are expanding, high-speed rail is expanding, renewable energy is expanding and becoming more of a viable market. There are billion-dollar companies that were created out of clean tech. So all of that points to me in the direction of, we are moving towards a more sustainable existence as a human race. I think it's just a matter of time, and it will happen sooner than later, whether it's by necessity due to catastrophic climate-induced events, or if it's just because people are realizing the viability of living more sustainably, because you do save money. So from an economic perspective, it just makes sense. So I think no matter what, we are moving towards that anyway.
I think it was making sense from the beginning, but it's not makes sense for corporations that create the entire need, or however we're going to call that we need to purchase and we need to consume. I don't think so. It's natural in human beings. They are just trigger us to consume more. So obviously everybody, and then that's I think this is where we coming back to these sustainable lifestyles and where we should be.
Yeah, it's definitely not natural to consume the way that we do, and I think people are realizing that. There's actually an opposite effect of consuming. It's been said that it actually makes us unhappy as opposed to makes us happy. We get like little jolts of dopamine from buying things, but that's like a synthetic happiness. I think happiness to me means enjoying my family, feeling love, having nice food, meditating, reading, simple things, not buying something in order to make myself happy. I think that's synthetic, and I think people are understanding that now.
Yes, I agree, or we start understanding this more and more. And yes, okay, Lauren, so very last question. Could you tell us some testimonials of people who made it, or maybe you received on the blog, say something like, hey, I following your blog and I actually decrease my waste until something. Do you have those kind of stories?
Yeah, I mean, people tell me that all the time. I had a friend actually that I lived with in Barcelona for a little while. She started a zero waste store in Antwerp after she kind of learned about what I was doing. So someone started a viable business based on a concept of zero waste. I mean, I started a viable business based on living zero waste. I started my company, The Simply Co., out of a desire to produce products that have a low environmental impact and that are very effective and safe for your home and the body and the environment. And, I've had individuals also say, I feel so much better that I'm, living zero waste and it aligns with my philosophy. I mean, every day, really, I get something like it's amazing to me. And I understand because it happened to me too. By living this lifestyle, I have drastically improved my life. And I think when people start to live this lifestyle too, they understand that.
Okay, cool. That's great. Okay, Lauren. So where we can find more information, if you could give us the name of your blog one more time, and where we can go to read about the specific things, and then download probably this report about those 23 things that you mentioned about how to live zero waste life?
Sure. So my company is called The Simply Co. And unfortunately, the product isn't available internationally yet. But if you have friends in the US, send them the information about my company and share the word. And then my blog is called Trash is for Tossers. And you can find me on YouTube and Instagram and my physical blog, Twitter, everything. And on my blog, there's a list of zero waste alternatives and simple steps that you can take to reduce your waste.
Cool. Lauren, thank you very much. The most of the people that listening to us are United States based, so guys, you heard that. So you can check out Lauren page, blog, YouTube channel. Lauren, thank you very much for those tips and pieces of advice. It is cool to meet another dreamer and seeing that you playing your part into creating a better world. And yeah, thank you very much for this little interview for Dreamers from Better World.
Thank you so much for having me.